The purpose of this video is for my students to review for their Unit 7 test. We've been doing area of two-dimensional figures. So if you're not in my class, just know the topics in this video are going to be on area of circles, triangles, trapezoids, some composite figures, shaded and non-shaded regions, and then also circumference. Question number 1 says a group of students stood in a circle to play a game. The circle had a diameter of 22 meters. Which measurement is the closest to the circumference? So a couple of things. We know we have a circle. We know that the diameter is 22 all the way across, and it wants to find the circumference. The way I'm going to find circumference is just pi times diameter. We know that the pi number for us in our class is always going to be 3.14, and diameter is given to us in this question, and it was 22. I simply need to multiply those two things together. It's going to tell me the distance all the way around the outside where the kids were standing, which is 69.08, and that would mean D is the correct answer. Question number 2. An advertising banner has 4 sections as modeled below. 2 sections are congruent trapezoids, and 2 sections are congruent right triangles. Which measurement is the best estimate for the area of the banner in square meters? So for me, this is a lot of different things going on, but ultimately, I just need to know the area of this banner. I don't care what's all on the inside. I need all of it. So I am just going to take this as one big giant triangle because I know how to find the area of a triangle real easy. And for area of a triangle, you just need to know the base and the height, and then we'll divide it by 2. Now the base is 1 3/4, and this would be 1 3/4. And then these 2 small sections would be 1 each. So I'm going to switch out, and when I'm trying to find the triangle now, I'm just going to take it as one big shape. The amount going up and down the center is 2. That's not changing. So the height is 2. But now this entire distance going down, I'm going to add these 4 sections together. So when I list them out, 1.75, that's going to take the place of 3/4. I'm going to use a decimal, okay? 1.75, there's 2 of them, which was equal. That is 3.50. Then I have the 2 sections that are 1 each. So now I know that the base should really be 5.5. And these are all in meters. Okay? Now I know my 2 numbers that I need to find the area of this triangle. Overall, this is the outer shape of the triangle, the banner. Okay, the base is 5.5, the height is 2. Now all I need to do is multiply that and then divide by 2. So area of the whole banner, base times height, divide by 2. When I substitute those numbers out, the base is 5.5, the height is 2, and then I'm going to divide my answer by 2. So really, those kind of cancel each other out, honestly. 5.5 times 2 is 11, and then 11 divided by 2 just takes you back out to 5.5. And the question says which one is the best estimate? So the answer closest to 5.5 would be 6. One of the largest cookies on record had a diameter of 78.75 feet. What is the approximate circumference of the cookie? Use 3.14 for pi and then round your solution to the 10th place. This question straight out says it wants circumference, and it straight out tells me the diameter is 78.75. If you don't want to draw a picture, you sure don't have to. Since it says circumference, you could look on a math chart. It's going to say pi times diameter. This tells you in the question, even if you didn't know, the pi symbol needs to be 3.14. Therefore, all I need to do is multiply these out. 3.14 times 78.75, which is one big cookie. When you multiply that all together, the circumference is 247.275. Now remember though, in the question, it said you need to round to the tenths place. Okay, this 2 right now is in the tenths place. So what I need to do is look behind. Is this big enough to round up? So since 7 is more than 5, I would round up. My final answer, rounded to the nearest tenth, the circumference is going to be 247.28 feet. Okay, number 4. One of the tokens for a board game is a circle containing 5 congruent triangles as modeled below. So here's my round coin, and in the inside of the circle there are 5 little triangle shapes. Which measurement is closest to the area in square centimeters of the token that is not covered by triangles? So for my kiddos, we learned this by applying some questions where we did shaded and non-shaded areas. So if I were to take the token and take the part that is not covered by triangles and shaded this in, that would basically represent the questions that we had practiced before about finding the area of just one region that was shaded in. Now this one didn't present it in a way that had one space shaded in itself. So I'm just doing that on the question to kind of bring back hopefully some memories of when we did shaded and non-shaded in our class. So now if I look at this, I want to know the area that is shaded or is not covered by triangles. So I have 2 shapes. My first one is a circle. Let's back up. The first shape I have is a circle. And by looking at the measurements up here, I know all the way across the circle is 6. And they had to put it out here because the inside's filled up with those triangles. So the distance all the way around, or all the way across, the diameter is 6. And then I have 5 little triangles. And my little triangles are 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. The base and height. I can find the area of the circle. And the area of the circle is pi times radius times radius. A radius is only halfway across. So radius is going to be 3. I'm going to move all this up a little bit just for the video. Now I can substitute that number 3 in. And instead of pi, I'm going to do 3.14. And then radius, I'm not using 6 because that was diameter. Radius is 3. I'm going to multiply both of those. 3 times 3 is 9, so I'll fill that in real quick. 3.14 times 9 is actually 28.26. So this would be the whole circle. But I don't want the whole circle. It says how much is left over that's not covered by the triangle. So now what I need to do is do my triangle. Area of a triangle is just base times height divided by 2. And the base and the height were both 1s. So 1 times 1 and divided by 2. 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. Okay, that's only one triangle. And they have 5 triangles. So all of my triangles, all 5 triangles, 0.5 times 5 is 2.5. Okay, this is the amount for the triangle. But the question said which one is not covered by a triangle. So my last step is take my circle, which is 28.26, and subtract the triangle amount, which is 2.5. And then I would get my leftover of being 25.76. So that would be D. Number 5, the original Ferris wheel, introduced at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, had a diameter of 125 feet. What is the approximate distance traveled by a person who rode the Ferris wheel 5 complete revolutions? A Ferris wheel, again, is a circle. And it said the diameter was 125. And it says somebody rode it 5 complete turns. 5 complete revolutions. So they're going around 5 times. And they're going on the outside. So revolution means you need to find circumference. And we have done circumference many times in this video. It's just pi times diameter. 3.14 times 125 makes 392.5. Okay, this is only for 1 revolution. But the question says they went 5 revolutions, 5 complete times. So my last step would be multiplied times 5, because they went around 5 times. You don't want to ride something only once. That wouldn't be very much fun. It would be 1,962.5. And they were going in feet. And that would lead us to choosing A as the best choice. Number 6, a circular stained glass window has a diameter of 5 feet. Here's the window, and it's showing you all the way across is 5. All the way across is 5. What is the approximate area of the window? Formula for area is pi r squared, or pi times r times r. Well, this just got through telling me that the diameter was 5. I only need the radius. Radius would be half of that, which is 2.5. So to find my final answer, I just need to do 3.14 times 2.5 times 2.5. And whatever order you want to do this in, it doesn't matter. But 2.5 times 2.5 is 6.25. And then 3.14 times 6.25 is 19.625. And since it says approximately, the best answer choice would be B. Number 7. During math class, Kirk was measuring the diameter and the circumference of different circular objects. He recorded his findings in this table. Which expression represents the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter? So the way these two things are related, the circumference is approximately, not exactly, but it's approximately 3 times bigger every go. Nowhere in this situation does it even mention radius. So any answer choice that has a radius in it is automatically wrong. Okay? The formula for circumference is supposed to be pi times diameter. Well, they have shown us that pi needs to be out on the end of the answer choice. I'll erase that one because we blocked it out. So we said B is definitely not it, and C is definitely not it. So between A and D, when you look at the formula over here, this doesn't have exponent in it anywhere. That's when you're using radius. So all I need in my question is circumference, diameter, and pi. And if pi needs to stay over here by itself, the way it has it listed, then I would put, I would just show that I need to divide by diameter if I want to get rid of this and move it to the other side. So the answer choice that best matches that is A. Question 8, Elliot wants to replace a window that's in the shape of a semicircle. What is the area of the window? Use 3.14 for pi, and then round your answer to the nearest hundredth of a square foot. So we only want 2 digits behind the decimal when we finish. Right now, we already know the radius because this is showing me halfway across. So I can go ahead and keep that. To find area of a circle, you do pi times radius times radius. But because this is a semicircle, this is only half of a whole circle. So I need to divide by 2 at the end of my problem before I say the final answer. Again, it tells us to use 3.14 for pi. And then radius is already labeled in the diagram, so 1.5 times 1.5. And then at the end, I'm going to divide by 2. 1.5 times 1.5. I'm going to do that part first. And that equals 2.25. And then again, I'm going to save dividing by 2 for last. 3.14 times 2.25 is 7.065. And then now I would divide that by 2 so I could just get the area of the window. Half of 7.065 is 3.5325. However, this says you need to go to the hundreds place. Hundreds place is this digit 3. I'm going to look behind to see if I should round up or stay the same. And since this number 2 is not big enough, this is going to stay the same. So my final answer is going to be 3.53 square feet of glass. Number 9, last one. Zach wanted to lay down new carpet in his entrance and hallway to his house, and this diagram shows what it looks like. The carpet is sold for $2.40 a square foot. How much will Zach pay for the carpet in the entrance and the hallway of his house? So the thing that you really have to do is read your questions carefully. It's wanting to know how much will he pay. So before I can say my final answer, at the end, I am going to have to multiply with how much the price of the carpet is. I cannot multiply yet until I know how much total space is up here. So I'm going to take this L shape, or a 7, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to cut it into 2 separate rectangles, and then I'm going to do the area of each one of those. So this one I know is 3. And then I know this top part, instead of 3/4, I'm going to make this say 10.75. Okay? So I have 3 on the side, I have 3 on this side, and then again, 10.75 would be below. So this top rectangle space, 3 times 10.75. All you do is multiply those together. 10.75 times 3, and that equals 32.25. Okay, that's this space. 32.25. Then I'm going to try to do this rectangle. Well, I know that this piece is 4 at the bottom, but this is no longer 12 on the side because I cut some of it off. I cut off 3. So instead of being 12.5, I need to take 3 away. It's going to be 9.5. So then this rectangle, if you want to see the measurements alone, 4 and then 9.5. When I times those together, that equals 38. So inside this space, I have 38. Now he's going to do both pieces. So I have 32.25 plus 38's a whole number, so you need to give it a decimal. Line those up. When you add that together, it equals 70.5 0.25 square feet of carpet. This is how much carpet he's getting. These answer choices have dollar signs in front of them. I cannot choose this answer because I have not multiplied with the price per square foot of carpet. So I know my answer is going to be a lot bigger than 70. I'm going to multiply it times 2.4. That's going to be my last step. To find the cost, 70.25 times $2.40. I'm just going to say 2.4 because it's still going to get me the same answer. Okay, when I multiplied that out, it's going to be $168.60, which then tells us that C is the correct answer.